Hey, how y'all doing? Curdy Cool is back again. Wow. I know everybody heard the good news. I mean, about this case with Brittany Bowens. That now this case has turned into a homicide. I mean, I've been talking about this right along with all my subscribers all around the world. We've been talking about this stuff, and I'm telling you, Brittany had a whole lot to do with this, and we as the world, we know exactly what's going on here. You cannot pull a wool over our eyes. I mean, all the evidence, the facts are right there, baby. The facts are right there. And allegedly, I would say between the two of them, between Brittany and Derion Vence, they totally beat that little girl. I mean, you think about it, at one point, Derion Vence was throwing this girl up against the wall. Now Brittany is watching this guy do this abuse to her child. And next thing you know, Brittany is beating this little girl. I mean, whipping her too bad, whipping her too hard. I mean, in between the two of them, you think about it. I mean, this was totally abuse among the family. And for some odd reason, I mean, I heard all about it. There was an insurance policy. I mean, was this all about to collect this insurance money and sacrifice this poor little girl? I mean, just sacrifice her like that and destroy her life before she can even have a life. You know what I'm saying? And like I always have said, you can run, but you can never hide, because once forensics get done with this situation, I'm telling you, they gonna find out what really happened. And I'm gonna call this the dumbest of the dumbest. Now, when I saw that fake airline schedule, and then she tried to blog out the names. I mean, you couldn't even see, the names or nothing. And just as plain as daylight, you could see that this was tampered with. You could see that it was blogged out so you couldn't see it. Now, what person in their right mind is going to go along with the program? Hey, I cannot see this ticket. I can't see, I can't read, I can't make out what it is for as seeing the name of this person on this ticket. And then allegedly at one point, she started making things very confusing. Okay, one point you would hear, okay, I arrived, at my hometown, and my stepsister picked me up at 6:30. Then I hear about 6:45. Okay. Now, the stepsister said she picked her up at 6:45. Now, we are talking about this time schedule and the time difference. What time did she pick you up, baby? I mean, we figured this stuff, we rounded off so close to about what time she was picked up from the house. So now she started talking about, okay, well, it wasn't 4 o'clock when I left the house. Now all of a sudden my flight leaves out at 11 o'clock that morning. I mean, she tried all different sorts of things to try to throw the world off. I mean, I knew this was a bunch of baloney, y'all. I knew it. Still, if your flight was scheduled to leave out at 11:30, don't you know you still have time to do what you got to do? Wow. It doesn't take a mad scientist to figure that out, y'all. How could you do your little daughter like that? I mean, This is all about justice for Malia Davis. And I'm telling you, this is so sad, man. This is terrible. Allegedly, what a narcissist psychopath would do to a little girl and then try to cover it all up. And Derion Vence, I mean, he got suckered into it, but I mean, what's the difference? I mean, you throwing this little girl up against the wall, you beating her right along with Brittany. You are doing some things. So what's the difference between the two of you? If she watched you and Derion watched her, what's the difference? They both are involved into this situation. You know, this was totally abuse between the two of them. And I mean, you guys knew exactly this stuff was going to catch up with you guys. I mean, you can run, but you could never hide forever, you know? And I would call this the dumbest of the dumbest. And the reason why I say the dumbest of the dumbest, how dumb can you be and get? This next door neighbor has a camera recording 24 hours a day, baby. Derion, you never for once in your mind looked up and saw that camera pointing exactly when you walk out of your house? You couldn't see that, Derion? You were so in love. You got me so in love. Remember that song by Curtis Mayfield? You got me so in love. Yeah. So it was kind of like a Curtis Mayfield thing. You got me so in love. Look a here, look a here. Man, this dude was so in love, man. He couldn't even look up and see the camera, and knew that he was on candid camera. Now, Derion Vence, when you looked up and you saw that camera, you mean to tell me you didn't look up and notice that camera that was going to catch you in the act? Did that girl have you so brain beat, so blinded that you couldn't comprehend and see that it was a camera videoing you all along the way, baby? Now, I call it the dumbest of the dumbest. So now a lot of folks say Brittany must have beaten Malia to death, allegedly. Okay? Derion goes to work, dropped the two boys off, and he gets a call from Brittany saying that Malia is no longer with us. So this has got to be what happened. I mean, she know what she did, and he couldn't take it because it was really, really heartbreaking to him. I mean, hey, damn, I threw up against the wall, the other night. Now, Brittany, you done beat her too much. Now she's no longer with us, so he's throwing up now. Throwing up all over the place, man. And so he comes home. Brittany is at that house. Everybody in their right mind knows that Brittany was in that house. So now you help bag this girl up. Allegedly, Brittany, this is what Brittany did. So between the two of them, I don't care how you look at this, Brittany helped bag her up. Derion got to the house. He helped be a part of this. I mean, you bagged this girl up like she was trash. And then now, Derion is the dumbest of the dumbest. He walks out the house with the big black bag straining to put her in the cart and roll her out to the car. Brittany thinks she's so smart. Okay, I already know that it's a camera up here, but I still say you the dumbest of the dumbest too, Brittany. And the reason why I say Brittany is the dumbest of the dumbest, well, you think about it. All this time you've been living here at this location, and you did not see that there was a camera. You knew it was a camera up there too, Brittany. And you turn around and let your fiance walk out the house with the body in a big black bag. And you did not think nobody was going to catch that on video camera. And it's a video camera right upstairs seeing everything that's going on, y'all. So now you are the dumbest of the dumbest as well. So between the two of you, Brittany and Darren, you all used to ever watch Sanford and Son, the way he used to talk about Esther. You big dummy, Esther, you dummy, you so ugly. You look like part of the Polaroid that you tear off. You so ugly. Don't nobody want to look at you, Esther. You big dummy, Lamont. I say both of them dummies, And then at the same time, allegedly, man, I'm just going to be honest with you. Anytime anybody does this to a little kid, man, and this little kid, and pack her in this big black bag, haul her off to Arkansas, and throw her out like she's a piece of trash. Now, a lot of people say, okay, and now how could this be possible? To throw this girl's body out in a big black trash bag, no animals get a hold to the bag, to the trash, no raccoon, no cat, no dog, no kind of animal did not come along, and grab that bag and try to tear it apart and eat this girl's body. You know what I'm saying? That was a good point there. You know what I'm saying? That was a very good point, but I don't know. I just don't know, how that did not happen during that time. And it still is a whole lot of questions, Did he throw this little girl's body on the side of the road in the bushes? Was it a last minute thing? Or did somebody else place her there? Now, the last that I know and the world know from evidence and facts is that this girl's body was placed into Derion Vence's trunk of the car, Brittany's car. And now you tell me that Darren drives all the way to Arkansas and dispose her body. Now, on top of all of this stuff, I heard Brittany had left her keys at the house because her friend came round about 9:15 to 9:30 to pick her up. So now you think about it, she's in a big hurry. So she just, oh man, my gosh. Here come the girlfriend. Oh Lord, I can't allow her to get out the car and knock on the door because she's going to see what's going on. So she just runs out the house and leaves her keys. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm thinking this world. Now, if Lil Malil was dead like 2 or 3 days, it ain't no way when the biological father came up and knocked on the door and wanted to see his daughter, and this stepfather denied him the right to see his daughter. But I can say this: if she was dead during that time and had been dead for a couple of days or more, don't you know the neighbors would have been complaining? Don't you know the biological father would have noticed that foul odor? I mean, they say the smell of death. Man, this stuff can come all through the walls every which way. And if the biological father shows up and knocks on the door and the stepfather tells him that Malil is sick and she's not well, he won't be able to visit her today, was she already dead? Maybe it could have been a possibility where she just, they just beat her to death. Or maybe they was in the process of doing it. You know what I'm saying? But my thing here is this: if that poor little girl was dead 2 or 3 days when the biological father showed up that day and knocked on the door, I mean, the smell of death, man, it's a smell that you would never forget. Now, if you smelled a unusual smell, you would have automatically said something about that. I'm talking about the biological father. Hey, look, man, something smelled very unusual up in this house. I wouldn't ask no questions, I would have just called the cops. So that tells me, I mean, she wasn't dead for long. You know what I mean? Because her body wasn't really smelling. And they say once a person's body sits for what, a day or two, and all these chemicals and stuff disposed from your body, and it's just a foulest odor with all these chemicals within our body, and this stuff lets out all those unusual gases, man. And it's a smell that you would never forget. And so I think I just feel like allegedly during that time they was in the process and they knew they had already beat that little girl so bad. Her eyes was swollen. From the last of what I saw, y'all, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw that picture when the biological father was holding his daughter, both of this girl's eyes was swollen. I'm talking about, a head injury is a different thing, If you having some type of surgery did on your head or whatever, but down here, and it looked like somebody went bam, bam, you threw this little girl up against the wall. How could a sick-minded person do this to a little girl? You beat her to death. Both of her eyes are swollen until you kill her. So now they have created a bigger, unusual problem, and they know they got to dispose the body. Well, what are we going to do? How are we going to get rid of this girl body without anybody seeing? Because if we report it, they're going to see all these beat marks all over this girl. They're going to see all these injuries, all this abuse. We're going to instantly be going downtown for a long time. And so I feel like allegedly it all speaks for itself. And Brittany was in that house, and I feel like she was a part of this situation. Now, my gut feelings, allegedly, this is what I feel. And I feel she tried to hide it for the longest. I mean, how could you do that, to your daughter, man, and just go along with all that abuse between the two of you guys? Now, here is the tricky part. So now Brittany runs out the house. She forgets her keys. Her friend picks her up, let's say about 9:15 or 9:30, and drive out to the airport. Now you just helped kill your daughter. Now you run out to catch a plane to go to a funeral, to your father's funeral. I mean, wow. Don't that sound very sick? That is a sick-minded person. So you run out the house to catch a plane. So you hide out some kind of way you are able to escape the camera and not be seen. I mean, you got away like a smooth criminal. At least you think you was a smooth criminal. But all that stuff, they're gonna see all that stuff for what it is, And so now this is the thing here now. So she thinks she was a smooth criminal. So now here we go again. Derion Vence is hauling this girl off. He calls up his brother, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. I need to talk to you. Hey, can you meet me over here at such and such place? I need to talk to you about some things. Hey, between the two of us, I think we beat Lil Malil to death. And I know if we call the cops, both of us are going to jail. And more than likely, the brother probably like, oh, man, I'm so sorry to hear about that, man, but I don't want to be a part of this, man. You telling me that Brittany helped beat this girl to death? Yeah, man, and I kind of helped threw up against the wall, and she was doing some things, and Brittany just continued to beat her to death. So now, oh man, so now allegedly they beat this little girl to death. He's telling the story to his brother, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Oh man. Well, we already know. Vince, you gonna go to jail, man. You and Brittany going to jail for this, man. It's gonna be an automatic. Once the cops come, you know what's gonna happen. Oh man, the only thing I can tell you what to do, man. You need to dispose the body, get rid of the body the best way you can. You already got her in the trunk. Now it's either two options that could have happened. Now a lot of people kind of think, okay, how do they know that Derion Vence's brother didn't ride with him? I mean, that's it sort of makes you wonder if that's what happened. Did his brother ride out with him to dispose the body? Or did Derion Vence drive out by himself to dispose the body? And I'm thinking, wait a minute. I did hear something about that. At one point, they were searching for Derion Vence, and they found Derion Vence and his brother together somewhere. They pulled over Derion Vence's brother, and Derion Vence was in the car. And that's how they arrested Derion Vence. So allegedly, I feel like Derion Vence, he drove out to Arkansas. He disposed the body, and he drives back another 6 hours. And so the cameras catch him coming back, and that's when they caught him coming back into town. He gets back in town, and he calls up his brother. Hey, man, look, brother, I'm back in town, man. I disposed the body. He tells him, well, I'll tell you what you can do is just park the car somewhere in the nearest area. Just tell me where you at, whatever you do, don't be seen, just try to, hide out or whatever inside of the car, and give me about 15-20 minutes to get there, and I'll pick you up. I'll try to pull side by side and jump in the car so nobody won't see you or see me. And that's a possibility. That is what could have happened. Now I'm hearing another side of this story, y'all, that's going to freak you out. Now this side of the story here includes Derion Vence's brother now. Okay, and y'all check this out. Allegedly, Derion Vence, he may have hid out with the car for a few days, so they can't find him. So now it's a possibility he finally decides to park the car. And maybe, just maybe now, he could have escorted the body over into his brother's car. Did they check out his brother's car and have the cadaver dogs to check out the trunk of his brother's car? Did they get a chance to do that, y'all? I don't know. But allegedly, I've been thinking, what if it happened like this now? They transferred the body over into Derion Vence's brother trunk car, and by him moving back home, you know what I'm saying? I'm hearing little bits and pieces. Allegedly, okay, he know he's in hot trouble. So now Derion Vence, get busted or whatever. So now what if it's a possibility, okay, that Derion Vence's brother wasn't riding around with this girl's body in the trunk of his car? Now, how do we know that this didn't happen? You know what I mean? So now, Derion Vence, he's gone downtown. So the brother said, oh, okay, I I can't deal with this, man. There's too much crime going on here. There's too much stuff going on. Now, how do we know when he decided to move out of town on his way out? Is it a possibility that he completed the drive to Arkansas and dumped this little girl body off on the side of the road or in the bushes? Is that possible? Y'all talk to me. Is that really possible? I mean, I've been hearing bits and pieces about that. You know, that somebody else could have placed this girl's body there because everybody is scratching their head. Well, why wasn't this body eaten? Or why didn't some wild animal, like get a hold to this girl's body? It's a lot of unanswered questions. And a lot of folks are feeling like, okay, if Derion Vence did it only by himself, or maybe his brother sort of helped him along the way. That's a strong possibility, but you got to have a whole lot of facts and evidence about that. And I say this, did they get a chance to do the same type of, like put the cadaver dogs into Derion Vence's brother's car and let them jump around and see if they, caught some type of scent, for as, a dead scent in his trunk or inside of the back seat or somewhere like that. I mean, did they do that with his brother? I mean, because there's a lot of people out there thinking that, how do we know that it wasn't Derion Vence's brother as well? Allegedly, I mean, I just don't know, to be honest with you. Now, I don't know about that brother, but this is like what I'm hearing. I'm hearing bits and pieces about this, that it's a possibility that his brother could have drove along the way on his way moving out of town, and he could have allegedly dropped this girl body off on his way out. If y'all feel like something like that could have happened, y'all leave a comment. I mean, this story is just so bizarre to me. I mean, from beginning to start, and I'm like, wow, I'm blown away just the thought of this little girl, a young, beautiful little girl, had a whole life before her, and now she's no longer with us. And the way that she died, from a selfish, narcissist mother and a narcissist stepfather. Man, this stuff just blows your mind. Then you have people who run around all over town pretending like nothing never happened. I mean, how could anyone do this to a child, to a kid? So, but I'm glad to hear that it is now a homicide, and that it has been verified that this little girl was beaten to death. So now, Brittany, hey girl, you're not off the hook, because you are hiding, and you have been hiding a whole lot of evidence with all these fake schedules and plain schedules and all this stuff, and just from one thing to the other. And Vince keeps changing his story. You keep telling a whole bunch of crackerjack lies. Man, this stuff will eventually catch up with you. I mean, you can keep running, but this stuff gonna just hit you all at one time. Right when you think you done got away, next thing you know, we're gonna look up on TV. They got the cuffs on you, and they're hauling you out to jail to join Vince. I mean, you know that stuff wasn't right, Brittany. That stuff wasn't right. Abuse is abuse. I mean, even if you watch your kid be abused by Derion Vence, and he watch you abuse this little girl, between the two of you guys, both of you guys still abused this little girl, allegedly. At this point, this is really all about justice for Malil Davis. And I just want to say, world, I hope you guys enjoyed my show once again. I try to bring it to you guys live, try to stick with the facts. I don't like to try to sugarcoat anything at all. I like to see nothing but the facts and nothing else. That's the only way to go. Facts and evidence. And now it has become a time when all the truth has come together. Now it's time for the world to heal. So I feel like, hey, just give the professionals a little bit more time. I mean, they working on this stuff. They are doing a beautiful job. And like they said, you know, the mayor and everybody else said, the police chief, this stuff takes time, you know. You got to go through all the forensics. It has to go through all the proper forensics, investigation. I mean, they got to check this stuff out thoroughly and get all the evidence. You know what I mean? So they are working on this. And, you know, to find out that this was a homicide and that this girl was beaten to death. And so it's going to be a whole lot more that's going to come out in this case. But like the mayor said and the chief said, y'all just be patient out there. Just be patient. They're working on it. They are the best of the best. It's just sometimes the system just takes a little bit longer. But it's still a lot of folks out there who just feel like they should just go ahead and arrest Brittany because they already know. But that's not the way the system goes. You got to get all the evidence together first before they make the arrest. So just keep your eyes open because ain't no telling what Brittany is going to do next. I'm serious. I mean, it's just ain't no telling what she's going to try to do now. I mean, especially if all these facts and evidence are piling up on her and now the world, now the city of Houston and the investigation and forensics, all this stuff is coming out to light. I mean, she already know. It's just a matter of time. She's going to get picked up, and hey, she might try to slip away. She might try to do something real smooth. You might wake up one day and all of a sudden, where's Brittany? You might not see her nowhere. She might try to haul out and run out to Mexico somewhere. You know what I mean? Do it all overnight. Just pack up when she think everybody's asleep, like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and just head out to Mexico. You know, I mean, I bet you most of the time, if they have not caught up with this person, and they know that they are getting closer and closer of being caught, oh, they more than likely they have a master plan. And I say to Brittany's mother, y'all keep an eye on this Brittany. Y'all better stay near as much as possible because trust me, at this point, allegedly, she is going to try to do something real slick to get out of this because she done already tried everything under the sun, baby. So y'all just keep your eyes open because I feel like now at this point, she's in the hot seat. I mean, everybody on that side of the family, they don't want to hear about the facts. It normally always goes like that. Okay, I still can't believe it, you know, I mean, it's a homicide now. But still in their mind, they still do not want to believe the evidence and the facts. I still don't believe it that she would do something like this. And then Brittany is still, oh, you know what? I don't know nothing about it. I mean, they're making a big mistake. I mean, they'll play that role just all the way to the end until they pick them up. But y'all keep your eyes open at this point because she might try to pack up and leave town or move to Mexico or just get lost all of a sudden. You know, yeah. I mean, that's the next phase. Anytime when it's getting closer like that, trust me, it's getting closer to having another plan, baby, to try to get lost, you know? So y'all keep your eyes open, baby, to what's going on. But anyway, this is Curtie Cool. I appreciate you guys, watching my show, coming to my channel. Thank you guys so much for all the subscribers and all the great things, just being there and listening to my story. and we coming together as a team, and talking about this stuff worldwide. Hey, I appreciate all you beautiful people out there. All over the world, I appreciate you guys. God bless you. God loves you. Thank you. Thank you. And all those wonderful people who are donating to my PayPal, just doing donations from the bottom of their heart. I mean, whatever donations that I get, it will be put into good use and help getting this talk show together and help doing some things so that I could start filming and getting this talk show together. So every little donation, it really helps. And I appreciate every little thing that you guys are doing. Thank you so much. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thanks for all the donations. Just thank you guys so much for everything. And like I said once before, I'm searching for a building. Hopefully someone can help with that. They might have the perfect setup, so that we could do the talk show. They will get a whole lot of publicity, it's going to be something that's going to come out of this for you guys. It's just that I'm donating all my time, putting all this stuff together. So I feel like we as the city of Houston, we come together. And so hopefully somebody can help me out on that end so that we can get a building to start filming this talk show. I mean, this could be a series thing going on and on and on, So many different people can come in, we do a show, we talk about this stuff, and we go through a whole lot of different channels and talk shows to help educate the world. I mean, this talk show is going to be not only about Malia Davis' story, but also about A.J. Armstrong's story. This show is going to also be about talking about parental alienation and keeping the families together. This talk show is going to be about what the world needs to do to save the children, protect the children. I mean, all this different stuff concerning a family and anything that's surrounded with the family and the kids. And this is what this show is going to be talked about. We're going to have other professional people that's going to come in and talk about certain things, But I know we are headed the right direction. And I want to say I appreciate you guys, man. I always appreciate you guys. God knows a good man. And I know when it's time for something like this to happen, because it's time. Because this stuff is really, really out of whack with the way all this stuff is going on in the world. So anyway, once again, my time is up. This is Curtie Cool. Hey, what's my slogan, baby? Curtie Cool. That's okay, bye.